into a brand new wave, drowning out the noise that's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn today. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're unpanned. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Welcome into the Legacy Ride. Hey, it's me, Andrew Joseph, and today we're going to talk about Kim Jong-un in North Korea. So go ahead, strap in, and let's go ahead and get ready. And here we go.
Welcome in. I am the legacy of Jennifer Kaiser. This is Andrew Joseph, as he said before, and we're going to talk about Kim Jong-un, everybody's favorite leader, my dear, glorious leader. But beforehand, we got a plug. You want this coffee cup? You want to start
nice
your day
coffee
right?
cup.
You want to start your day right for only $20 and free shipping? You can head on down to that store right there, down below. Get yourself a coffee cup. You can also get a shot glass. And we might have spoons. If you didn't catch Saturday, we may have spoons. There might be spoons. I don't know if Printify has that, so we'll see. I would assume I could probably do that. Use everything. We're transparent here. Let's not lie. Almost everybody's drop shipping anymore. So
Right.
it's Printify. It's Printify,
We want to be
everybody.
real spooners.
Andrew wants a spoon with a spoon. Also, if you want your real news on X, real, retarded, and straight to the point through memes, follow Retard News on X. With that, what are we talking about today? Something about short Chinese fat guys that are in Korea.
Well,
I don't know.
I found a really interesting YouTube channel called Kim Zone, and it's all about North Korea. So I thought we could dig into it and see what they got to say, and kind of move from there. So whenever you're ready, I'll go ahead and bring it up, and we can talk about it. Are you all set?
Engage.
Here we go.
Imagine a country where every conversation can be eavesdropped on, every decision controlled, and every dissent brutally suppressed. This is the reality of North Korea, a closed-off state where one person decides the life and death of millions. Kim Jong-un. To some, a symbol of absolute power. To others, a tyrant whose rule leads to suffering and isolation. Is it possible to remove such a leader from power? What actions would need to be taken? In today's material, we will answer these questions and examine the most realistic scenarios for change in North Korea. The issue of removing Kim Jong-un from power is an extremely complex topic that requires not only a deep understanding of North Korea's internal situation, but also international cooperation, precise planning, and the implementation of a multi-stage strategy. Kim Jong-un's regime, built on propaganda, fear, and military might, is one of the most resistant to external pressure, making any efforts to overthrow it not only delicate, but also multifaceted. For this reason, an approach that includes both diplomacy and economic sanctions, support for internal opposition, and potentially military or psychological actions is necessary. In this video, we will examine each of these possible steps, analyzing their potential and challenges. The first step in the strategy to remove Kim Jong-un from power must be diplomatic actions aimed at exerting the right amount of pressure on the regime. The most important element in this process is strengthening international cooperation, especially among countries that share a common interest in ending Kim Jong-un's dictatorship.
If I died tomorrow, I would want every neuropathy sufferer, including you, to know this. It sounds crazy, but give
The United
Got
States,
that for a
South
second.
Korea, Japan, and the European
I just want to talk about that ad. What is up with the what's going on with all these? It's definitely AI. Why
It's
why
got to
are they
be.
doing this now?
I don't
It's a
know.
real guy. It's a real guy, but the audio doesn't correspond very well with the man in the picture. It's
Right.
kind of funny. I don't know. What do you all think? Join in the comments
Let us know.
on Rumble because
Union
YouTube shadow banned
Sorry.
us.
As always. And where's it starting?
Hmm.
Here we go.
must act in unison to put pressure on China and Russia, which have long served as buffers for North Korea, blocking the full implementation of international sanctions. Organizing regular international summits that will allow these countries to unify their strategies is crucial. A consolidated international response could significantly increase the chances of exerting real pressure on Kim Jong-un, who, despite possessing a military arsenal, cannot completely ignore global cooperation. Economic sanctions are a natural continuation of these efforts. However, their effectiveness will depend on their precise targeting. They must be directed specifically at North Korea's ruling elite, who benefit from the regime while remaining at its top. Freezing these individuals' assets abroad, imposing travel bans, and restricting trade in illegal goods such as weapons, nuclear materials, and technologies that form the foundation of North Korea's nuclear program are key tools of pressure. Another crucial step in this matter will be creating negotiation proposals, offering a gradual lifting of sanctions in exchange for specific steps toward denuclearization, democratization, and improvements in human rights. Additionally, taking actions aimed at economically and financially isolating North Korea, as well as halting support from third-party countries, could ultimately weaken the regime. However, sanctions alone may prove insufficient if Kim Jong-un does not respond to them in a way that strengthens international pressure. In such a case, military intervention may become a considered option. Before any military actions take place, it will be necessary to establish international consensus and obtain UN sanctions to avoid accusations of unilateral actions. the intervention would have to focus on minimizing civilian casualties as well as conducting precise attacks targeted only at strategic military objectives, missile bases, nuclear silos, and command centers. Protecting civilians in the region, especially in South Korea and Japan, must be a priority, which is why evacuating civilians from potential conflict zones will become a necessity. In the case of military intervention, preparing a post-war stabilization plan becomes crucial, encompassing the rebuilding of destroyed infrastructure, humanitarian aid, the establishment of temporary government structures, and securing internal order. A long-term goal that could emerge after the intervention would be the reintegration of North and South Korea, which would require a careful and long-term state reconstruction plan. It is also worth considering support for the internal opposition as an alternative to military action. Although Kim Jong-un's regime controls almost every aspect of citizens' lives, it is not entirely capable of shutting the doors to the outside world. Smuggling devices that provide access to free media, such as radios, USB drives with documentaries, or informational guides on world affairs, can help build awareness among North Korean citizens about the real political situation. The ultimate goal is to instill in society the belief that they have the right to freedom and that their fate is not determined by the regime. Disseminating educational content that challenges official government propaganda may lead citizens to recognize contradictions in the regime's messages. Engaging the North Korean diaspora and organizing support groups for those fighting against the regime is another step in building the opposition. Funding for human rights organizations, financing opposition activities, and creating funds to support potential political change in North Korea can play a fundamental role in preparing for an organized opposition. The last but equally important step is an information war and psychological operations that weaken the foundations of Kim Jong-un's power. The flow of information into North Korea can be increased through balloons carrying leaflets, USB drives, or radios smuggling news about the outside world and exposing the regime's propaganda. Creating content in the Korean language, radio broadcasts, and films depicting life in free societies and encouraging people to question the system is crucial. Disrupting the government apparatus is key. Disinformation that undermines trust between government factions can lead to internal conflicts, while spreading revolutionary ideas among the youth and military may inspire resistance. Creating the impression of external support may encourage action against Kim Jong-un. Removing him from power is a difficult task that requires cooperation, precision, and determination. Diplomacy, sanctions, support for the opposition, or an information war. Each of these actions carries risks, but history shows that even the toughest regimes fall. It is crucial that the world does not stop striving for freedom for the North Korean people. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.
And we've seen a lot of this just in the general news. I remember seeing a video, or maybe it was a news article. Yeah, there was a video associated with it too. Somebody took a drone from China, and they flew it over North Korea and recorded video of what people were doing and what life was like there. I can pull it up real quick. It's not too terribly long, but that's something that you could use, like use that to drop USB flash drives and stuff like that. It's translated into North Korean. I think that would be an interesting.
I don't think they want USB flash drives with information on them. I think they want food. You could use the drones to drop food. These people need food.
Maybe put sandwiches, or I mean, obviously it's North Korea, so they'll eat anything considering the situation. But they're not used to a Western diet. But there's something equivalent that they could put it in a plastic bag, and just they could drop it, like keep it separate from the food, and drop it through the air. Let me see if I can find that video real quick because it's not too
Why,
terribly long, like I said.
why do you think that we should drop flash drives with documentaries on it that showcase what a free society looks like when we don't live in a free society?
Well, I mean, they're basically, cattle. They're slaves to the state, and at the very least, like the video said, we should try to, show there's a contradiction in what they're saying and what they're doing. So,
No,
hold on a
of
second.
course. In reality, everybody, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is the largest concentration camp in the world, in the history of human civilization. The country itself is a concentration camp.
Right.
And if he pulls up this drone footage,
I got it right
you
here.
might be
Hold
able
on
to see it.
Just a second.
Even China actually tries to disengage a little bit with North Korea. Pyongyang, the model city. But what does the countryside look like?
Right. I
That I
didn't
know
choose this
of.
audio.
Yeah, that I know of. Pyongyang is like the only actual city that is settled that I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
there's
know they
little
had cities
towns.
before the war, but for an actual city, yeah, that's a top priority, right? Because that's where
Well, it's the
the
capital.
establishment
It's the
is.
capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every other city is a model. I mean, they're literally just fake cities, deserted.
Yeah.
But anywhere else in North Korea, it's literally just little villages or prisons.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of weird to see the aerial view of the city, and you'll notice that it's very empty for a city. For a great large city like that, why so empty? I mean,
Because
just think of
I'm
our
sure a majority of the population is in prison camp. I mean, there's all kinds of different video content, stuff like that about that in North Korea. So,
good luck finding it.
yeah.
Is there any drone footage of outside of the major hub?
Well, there's another video here. Hold on a second. I'll throw it up.
My next generation fab let its infinite
Sorry.
short is the short of the future.
That's a monkey. All empty. Pure emptiness. There's some cars though. That's good. We got some cars. I wouldn't mind living in North Korea just for this. I might defect to
right?
North Korea. Yeah, I might defect to North Korea just so I don't have
As
to
long
deal with
as-
traffic.
As long as you say exactly the truth 100% of the time and never lie.
Yeah, dude. Dear leader, you are my heart.
Yeah, right.
I will give my life to the great dear leader Kim Il Sung, who is still the leader. He is still the grand leader. He's the supreme leader of the Democratic Republic of Korea. Long dead and gone. He still lives in all of us.
Another thing is they're talking about psychological, warfare, right? What do you think about the situation in Iran? I mean, Trump overtly attacked Iran on behalf of Israel. You don't think he could use that as like a bargaining chip? Say, if you don't take it easy and play with us, you might be next.
No, he can't. Why? You know why? North Korea has nukes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far they can go, how far their ballistics can go. They can. We already do know that they could. They've tested, not with the nukes, but they've tested the ballistics. They can get to Japan and even a little over Japan. So because of the destabilized region in that realm, and just how insane Kim Jong-un is, you can't do what you did to Iran on behalf of Israel, and on another point with North Korea, or you're jumping into a nuclear war. And on top of that, you also have China. So
Well,
you have
obviously,
two.
I
Yeah.
agree with you there, but I'm just saying it's a bluff.
Yeah, I mean, we've bluffed North Korea their entire existence since the end of the Korean War. It doesn't work. The only thing that does work, their bluff, is fantastic, because all they have to do is throw a fit, launch a couple nukes for testing, and then they get all this foreign aid. That's usually that's real talk. That's what really is going on behind the scenes. When they launch a nuke to test, or they go into meltdown mode, threatening that they're going to go blow up Seoul, or invade the DMZ or whatever, it's literally just it's a temper tantrum to get more money, because they have no economy. So they end up getting money from the West or China. But the China props them up very, very easily, but very carefully. They live off of the West.
Yeah.
So,
Well, do you want to comment on some of the aspects of from the video that they made?
which one, the drone or Kim Jong?
Well, Kim Zone. Just some of the things that they said.
The propaganda aspect, I don't understand where you're coming from there, because it's a propaganda war on both sides. Both sides are psychologically in warfare with each other. One side's trying to say North Korea is this, and then in reality, we don't necessarily know, because you can't really get into North Korea. And if you can, you're going to be chaperoned. So you're going to get you're going to see, and you're going to hear what they want you to see and hear. On the other instance, you can't really listen to old Kim's talking points, because they propagandize the West, specifically the United States, all the time. And honestly, they have one point that they do have correct in their imperialistic propagated idea, is exactly that. So the United States is very imperialistic, but neither side really tells the whole story. They don't really tell the truth in their propaganda, because, like I said, how do we know? In order for, say, the United States to achieve any access to information in North Korea, you're going to have to get inside North Korea and then figure out a way to get away from your chaperone. And I don't think nobody has actually been able to do that. Not even Michael Malice. And he wrote a book on it.
Unfortunately. Right.
So, I mean, I would like to talk to I would love to talk to the guy. I'm sure he's probably dead now, because he was pretty. But I would love to talk to the guy that actually defected during the Korean War, and went to North Korea, and actually married a North Korean girl and had a family, and he's lived all his life in North Korea. I would because that, and maybe you could probably get a little bit of, obviously he's controlled to a certain extent, because he's a white guy in North Korea. You'd be surprised how many white American soldiers defected to North Korea. He wasn't the only one, but you
I
would
think
get
there
a
was one just
semblance.
recently defected to North Korea from the United States Army.
Yeah, from the DMZ, which to this day, I think we have on standby. We send about 4,000 troops to North Korea to work alongside the South Korean army at the DMZ. I think it's 4,000. It's not very much, but it's still enough to have a presence. But I would love to talk with these defectors per se, because even though they're going to be highly controlled by the North Korean government, because they are white American and defectors, you're going to get some semblance of the truth and what they in their perception and why they defected and why they went over to North Korea and this and that. So you're going to get a semblance of the truth, because why would you defect to a literal prison camp? I'm not even going to say communism. It's not even communism at this point. It's just literally just a prison.
There was a guy that I watched a video on YouTube about, and he's an American citizen, but he also had a permanent residence card in Mexico, and he went to North Korea on that permanent residence card as like a sports thing, and it was really interesting. Like they've got internet, but it's really local. It's like Cuba. It's really locked down and localized, and it's quite. I can see
It's
if I can find the
dial-up.
guy's information. Maybe have him come on the program eventually. But
Yeah, we should. We should.
yeah,
It's dial up. That's probably
right.
all it is. It's just
Yeah, I'd be
86K
interested
dial up.
to understand about the internal opposition groups, because I mean you hear about that in China sometimes, but in North Korea, I mean, obviously they're there. I don't know how that all works. That would really be interesting to hear about.
They are there, but the truth is we just don't know. We don't know a whole lot of what's going on in North Korea. That in itself could just be propaganda, because honestly, you have to also look, those who have escaped, the diaspora that they refer to, the North Korean diaspora, those who have escaped, there's a little swing to it on their side too. So you have their propaganda fighting against the propaganda of the actual current regime. So you just don't know the truth much anymore. So
Yeah.
you really don't. And a lot of surprisingly enough, a lot of the generations after that come out of the original defectors of North Korea that were able to escape into South Korea, many of them are like old South Korean regime pretty much. So like the South Korean regime prior to was very well, they were they were socialists. They were very communistic as well. We used them. North Korea used them. I mean, we funded and supplied and trained a communist regime to get at a communist regime. The only problem is one side was able to diversify and evolve away from their communism and use industry to enrich itself within the decades later to become a little bit better and freer, while the other side completely fell apart because it's North Korea is literally just a totalitarian regime from the top down, whereas North Korea was a socialist regime that the bottom came up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it toppled the top and then reorganized everything politically, restructured the society. But yeah, the South Korea, I mean, South Korea was just as communist as North Korea until about the 80s when they started truly opening up. We did that for a reason. We weren't, we were just there to stop the Red Menace. That's about it. But we were still funding and training communists. I mean, look at Nicaragua. I mean, really? I mean, the Sandinistas were socialists, but so were the Contras.
Well, look what we did in the Middle East in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look what we did, and look what we were for the longest time while we were in Cuba. By the height of the Red Scare, of the second Red Scare after World War II, and until the Cuban Revolution, we had a literal militaristic fascist government installed, basically socialism, the military socialism. But we had Batista, a literal socialist, militaristic socialist, in charge of Cuba. That was very I don't know what the word to say right now. It's still early, but he allowed for U.S. Interest, right? U.S. industry to flux in, and the Cuban Revolution effectively got rid of Batista. And initially, Castro wanted to try to make peace with the United States, and it would have probably been the same scenario. The only difference was is he wanted a little bit realistically what Castro wanted. He had other guys in his ear, but what Castro wanted was he wanted to make peace with the United States, and he still wanted to allow some competition. But yeah, let's nationalize a little bit, because we can't just have we can't have this corporatocracy that's harming my people here. Of course,
Yeah.
they ended up becoming a communist regime and got backed by the Soviet Union, and they've been worse than ever anyways for their own people. But that's what happens when you hold on to power for so long. And that's what's going on in North Korea. This is what happens when you have leaders generationally installed to power. You have grandfather, father, son.
Poor choices have consequences. If you don't rectify those consequences, it's just going to complicate, and it's going to escalate. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Cuba once the last Castro dies.
Is Raul in power?
I believe so.
I didn't know he was in
Fidel,
power. I thought somebody else.
Fidel,
No,
it was
Fidel
Fidel that passed away, right? Yeah.
Fidel was the supreme leader, but yeah, Fidel died in like 2011. So he's been long gone. I did not know that Raul was. Well, I don't think Raul was actually in power, though. I think as the face, yes, but he was just as old as Fidel, so he's been losing his faculties for a long time. So somebody else is in power, probably one of his children or one of Fidel's children or whatever, what have you. But somebody's leading the country. It's not Raul. Raul may be the face, but it's not Raul. But he has some good things under Raul has occurred. I mean, they have somewhat been able to. They were able to open up, but not the whole entire embargo, which is entirely stupid on the regards of the United States. But not the entirety of the embargo, but a good chunk of the embargo with Cuba has been lifted within the last decade and a half since the passing of Fidel. So Obama did some good things, I guess. He kind of opened up Cuba for Jay-Z and Beyonce, which is entirely hilarious because Cuba has a vibrant tourist economy. That's pretty much how they survive, and it's the rest of the world, Europe, East Asia, wherever. I mean, wherever you're from, it's just the United States to say. Canada, yeah, but it's just the United States where you're not allowed to go.
There's a guy I knew on Facebook. I still talk to him every once in a while, and he lives in Chicago, and he went internationally to go to Cuba. Like he caught a flight to like Mexico and then to somewhere else, and then went to Cuba after that. And he said it was a shit show. So I don't know,
Cuba or the trip.
Well, Cuba in general.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, he made it back.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, maybe I could talk to him and see if he wants to come on and talk about his experience too. So
I can understand it being a shit show. It's a very different experience. And I think at this moment, the last few years, especially with when COVID hit, you started seeing the breakdown of everything. So like everybody's done. They want to finally be free.
Right.
I mean, they have free healthcare, everybody. Their healthcare is junk. I mean, so
all the equipment's rusted.
All the equipment is rusted. That a lot of that has a lot to do with the embargo. If you actually went to Habana, which actually I would love to talk to his experience about it, because from what I've heard and from in videos that you can watch, Cuba, like Havana, the capital, looks like 1955. Like they haven't been able to evolve, and that's essentially what North Korea looks like, really. Although North Korea just looks like a modern wasteland that the vehicles are like 20, 30, 40 years older because they can't get a whole lot into it. They don't make their own. I mean, so they're not modernizing, which maybe that's a good thing, but
they're stuck in time.
Really. They're stuck in time. So at least they're stuck in time where there's a little bit of technological evolution. So they're not completely in the fields, but like I said, in North Korea, if you go away from Pyongyang, it's going to be like you're in the 16th century.
I can imagine.
Until you get to a prison camp, and then that's when it's like the 1930s.
Right.
So, but anyways, there's an old man behind you, and he looks to be having a party.
What? What? That's different. He never has a party.
He's having a party.
Let me
You
go
gonna
check.
look?
Hold on just a second. Let's go check. There's no party here. What are you talking about?
He was having a party on your bald head. He's little. You don't see him? Do you have a mirror? He's on your head. You don't see him?
Wait, I think I see him. Is that him right there?
He's in your eye.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. Yeah. He's having a party, everybody.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bitcoin, baby.
Hey, yeah, this is Bitcoin. I'm back. The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch. Flossing fast cars and rolling with my clique. The king of the rap shit, the real OG. Whack ass rappers got nothing on me. Bought another Lambo, 3 hoes inside it, 10 hoes in line, ready to ride it. It's Bitcoin, bitch. Keep the track bumping. Really on the plug. I got pies in the oven. 80 years old, and your baby mama fond of me. All she wanna do is smoke my broccoli. Private jets from Rome to Ibiza. Lisa, Jenny, Julie, and Maria. Every day I gotta give thanks. I got Bitcoins in the bank. Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch.
Bitcoin, baby. Oh,
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Bitcoin, baby.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch. Axe your grandmother. Verse 2, coming with the gin and the juice. Call me a drag, spit flame in the booth. I'm hot, like a thermos full of coffee. So hot, can't get the hose off me. It's true, I got the weed card and shit. I'm smoking like a motherfucking chimney, kid. Bitches love me, my shit's never whack. Tell these motherfuckers, Bitcoin's back.
Bitcoin, baby.
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Hot like hot coffee. Oh,
Axe your grandmother.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch.
Get your hands in the air. Put your hands on the car. Put your 2 hands on the rock. Put your 2 hands on the road.
Bitcoin, baby.